Okay.
It's for a Apple password or whatever.
Yeah, she's over at District 7. Give her a call.
Okay.
We are live on YouTube and we have our first candidate waiting here.
All right, so I'll go ahead and call the special meeting of Fire District 21 to order. This meeting is to interview for the interim fire commissioner position that's open based on Commissioner McPhail's resigning here this past year. So we'll go ahead and conduct those interviews. And if by chance there is a candidate viewing, we ask that they not view this because it would be unfair to the other candidates. See and watch the questions while they're ongoing. We'll go ahead and do a roll call. Bruce Ansel.
John Crawford.
Scott Fisher.
And Rich Bosman is excused. He had a work commitment he couldn't get out of. He may be joining us at some point during the proceedings. So without further ado, if we want to go ahead and invite our first candidate, I think it's Chet Renskers. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. He should be popping up here momentarily. Gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off and mute my mic.
All right, and then when we're complete, we'll send you text.
Okay.
Mr. Renskers, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
All right. Did you want to be videoless or not?
You can video be just fine.
I think there's a button you have to push for us to see you.
Okay. I'm a little new at this, so.
That's all right. We all had a learning curve ourselves.
There we go.
There he is. Greetings.
Greetings, afternoon.
Thank you for meeting with us. As you know, because this is a special meeting with a quorum, this is being streamed on our YouTube. So any individual that chooses to could be watching these interviews. We've asked that the other candidates don't, in fairness to you being the first one, but to the rest of them as well. So
Okay.
we've got about 10 questions for you to go through. We received your letter of interest and your resume and have reviewed those, but we'll go ahead and get started here. And the first question is, why do you want to become a commissioner for District 21?
Well, I think I have a lot to offer, and it's the opening presented this opportunity. I've been with the department for some time now, and I think I can provide some insight and possibly help.
Do you have any specifics on that as to your insight or ways you can help?
One of the commissioners met with us, I don't remember his name, around the first of the year after at Delta Station, and talked to us and indicated that they needed we needed volunteers, And being I'm a volunteer, I think I can help in that. My past experience, I've dealt with vehicles and purchasing, and not so much. I haven't worked a lot with a larger department with paid personnel. I was paid when I first got out of the military, but I changed careers. So the mostly would be the direction that the department is going. We did meet with the that crew that was here that assessed our department, and in conversation with them, I felt that they had some really good ideas, and I think that I could help with that.
Okay.
Okay, what's your understanding of a fire commissioner's role?
My understanding is that they're the oversight committee, so to speak, and handle the financial aspect of it in an oversight capacity, but also help the and work with the fire chief and the main chief officers if they have any the direction of the department, but it would be more or less the long range planning, and also taking care of the finances, making sure the finances are okay to meet the department needs. It's not to delve into day-to-day operational type of things. That's up to the fire chief in his office.
Okay.
Hey, Chet, good to see you again. I want to thank you, and I know the other board members want to thank you for your years of service of being a volunteer in Blaine. Question 3 is part of the fire district's vision statement states, we accomplish our mission through financial responsibility. What does financial responsibility mean to you?
That would be to use the available finances to the best ability, and for the department, and using those finances responsibly, so that you're use plain English, not throwing money away, but looking at it and trying to basically just use the money that's available to the best ability for the department and the people involved. I hope that answers that.
Yeah,
Sure.
you did. Thanks.
Hey, Chet, can you share with us what you feel are some of the key issues facing the fire district in the next 5 to 10 years?
From my observation, and plus we lived in Blaine for about 37 years now, and it's the growth. The department is definitely growing. There's needed growth in equipment, manpower, volunteers. It's almost a continual shuffling of resources and finances to try to do the best job that we can. And there are some factors. The equipment is definitely needed to be, in some cases, upgraded, in other cases, expanded. And the paid staff definitely needs to be expanded. But along with that, I think being a volunteer, I think that the volunteer corps needs to be expanded also.
Great, thank you.
Chet, what are your views regarding district consolidation?
Consolidation as a general rule or with a specific other department?
Well, let's go with the consolidation of District 4.
Okay, I'm all for it. I've been involved with 2 other departments that went through a consolidation, and one of them, quite some time ago, in Oregon, it was pretty involved, and we wound up with quite a large department, and it really helped everybody by pulling together the equipment, the manpower, money, but it was more geared to the expansion of that area that needed more than what the tax base would support at that time. So the consolidation was pretty much a win for everybody. And with District 4, I believe that both departments can benefit by pulling resources together. And when somebody says consolidation, particularly in the fire service, that's where I believe that the biggest thing is. It's pooling resources. So we're not a duplication of efforts, and we're able to move ahead and serve the people that a lot of times they may work in one department district and live in another one. So it's a benefit, actually, I believe, for both departments or any other department.
Okay, thank you, Chet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chet, do you feel there are any conflicts of interest that may arise due to your appointment to the fire board?
I'll just be right up front, possibly, but I've thought about this, and it would be something that I would try the best of my ability to separate. I've been in a position where I was chief officer in a small department, but also I was a volunteer on my off days. So I had to separate, and that's what I found out. It can be done. It's just something that you don't get involved in volunteer politics on, but you just stay the separation of those positions. It is something that needs to be worked at, but also knowing that as a commissioner, there are certain responsibilities as far as the public reporting and whatnot that goes on. So there are some things that you cannot absolutely, under any circumstances, talk about in a volunteer meeting or setting. So it would definitely have to be separated. And personally, I don't think I would have a problem. I hope that answers that.
Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh.
What about unions? Have you ever been in a union or worked with union personnel in the workforce?
I've worked with unions, very limited in the fire service. Mostly it's been out of the fire service. I have not belonged to a union myself. I believe that the fire union is kind of unique, and from what I've seen as a volunteer these past years, the volunteers and the union and myself, I don't have a problem with them, and I hope they don't have a problem with me. Nobody said anything. It's a very workable situation. you have procedures and policies that both sides need to follow, and don't try to make waves and buck the system, and you can get along.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Chet, we meet once a month. Unfortunately, now it's via Zoom, but typically that's the third Thursday at 1 o'clock. Sometimes we have special meetings or we're currently working on another project that might require a couple extra meetings. Do you foresee any problems attending meetings on a regular basis?
No, I don't. My situation is being retired, and we right now are presently camp posting, but I talked to the rangers that I deal with, and it's not a problem for attending meetings. And in fact, we are hosting presently at up here at Edison, and then we're going to be going up to the state park in Concrete. And I've already talked to the rangers, and it's not a problem about my schedule because it's real loose. So, and that's going to hold true for even next year. At this present virus situation, we've had to curtail our activities, and so that's why we're not traveling as much as what we used to.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kat, if you're not selected for this position, would you be willing to accept a future unexpired term?
Yes. I'm kind of the old school. When I look at the board is charged with a certain responsibility, and once they make a decision, it's what they're feeling is in this case good for the department. I don't feel negative one way in that aspect. And if they want me to ask me to work on a special project, by all means. But if I'm not chosen for this interim position, it's not something that I'm going to feel negative about.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Chet, do you have any questions about the position of fire commissioner at all? Do you have any concerns or any burning questions that we could try to answer for you that you have thought about?
Actually, no. And I'm going on a couple, 2 or 3 meetings that we've had with, as I said, these evaluators that were here earlier, and also one of the commissioners that met with us, volunteers out there at the Delta Station, and we talked to them quite late. But also so my position, I'm coming at not only as a citizen of the department, of the district, but also as a volunteer. But if I've had a question, it's been answered. And the board has been pretty much upfront and of what's going on in the future. I know the future is trying to plan for something that the long range is a little bit difficult sometimes because it changes quite a bit. But I don't have any, as you said, burning questions, because we've been pretty much kept up to speed.
Very good. All right. Well, that sort of concludes the questions that we have for you. So unless you have anything else for us, we're going to let you sign off, and we'll we'll move on. We've got three more candidates to interview. And then we'll have to make a decision later today once those interviews are complete. I appreciate your time as a volunteer, but stepping up and taking the time to put a letter together and join us for this interview.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity. And it's just something that I felt I needed to do.
Thanks
Appreciate
again,
it.
Chet, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, Chet.
Okay. Well, thank you. You're welcome. And I appreciate the board giving me this opportunity to come forward. And we'll continue on and work with the department.
Great. Either way, if you find anything we need to do, let us know.
Okay. I will do that, and thank you.
All right. Take care.
Uh,
So we're still live right now, and we'll wait for the chief to come in and give us a pause and decide if we can maybe move a little forward with our next candidate. But I'd like maybe a chance. There he is.
Commissioner Ansel, Jenny is calling the next candidate. See if we can get started a little early.
Okay. Can we, I don't know if we sort of planned this, but it would be useful for us to have a brief discussion. And I don't know if we have to call that an executive session in the middle of all of this, but I'd kind of like to go off live for a brief discussion if we can accomplish that.
I believe you would need to go into executive session if you wanted to have it be not,
Right,
otherwise it's viewable
right.
streaming. So whichever you choose.
Do you guys want to take a couple minutes and go into executive session real?
He's ready, Jason.
Oh,
Why don't we go through this one, then do that, Bruce?
okay. All right. If we've got our Mr. Daniels is ready.
All right, let me invite Mr. Daniels here.
Was it just my audio or was Chet's audio a little busted up?
His audio was busted up.
Okay. I mean, I could still hear everything he said, but it was a little hard. Do you guys have your time scheduled with Karen Reed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you spoke with her yet, Bruce?
No, we're just all doing our scheduling. I think I talked to her Monday morning.
Okay. I
You're-
talked
you're
to her tomorrow.
You're the first one, Commissioner Crawford.
Oh, yeah.
If Jenny, I'm sure you can hear me. Can we maybe give Ms. McMurray a call also and tell her we may be queuing her up earlier?
Yep, I'll do that.
If not, we can always take a break and reconvene.
Okay.
Mr. Daniels, are you there?
I don't think his audio is not hooked up yet.
Okay. Nor is his video. There he is. Mr. Daniels, can you hear me? Oh, now you're upside down. Oh, you're muted. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Is there a little unmute button up in the upper corner?
Unfortunately, I can't. He's not connected to audio on my side. I can't unmute him.
Right, but
Is there any way we can contact him on the phone possibly?
we could, or he can relog on like I did and see if it.
Mr. Daniels, I'm gonna log you off and then send you another invite, okay? And we'll see if that works here.
We may in the future someday say, gosh, remember when we used to all get together in the same room and have meetings?
It's going to be a while, I have a feeling.
It's not looking too good, is it?
No.
I understand the border might be closed until after Christmas.
Wow. I went up there. Gosh, I don't even think it was the weekend. I think it was maybe a Friday or whatever. And that's a strange place. 3 cars went through in the half hour I was up there.
Oh, man.
2 north, 1 south, and couple weddings going on out there. And then just little encampments all over the park where people were getting together and meeting. Chief, are you suggesting we do this by phone or?
I just gave you his phone number as an alternate in case I re-invited him to the meeting, but in case that doesn't work,
Okay.
I suppose you could put him on speakerphone and get him close enough to your computer that we'd be able to capture what we needed.
Sure, why not?
Now that we've identified, everybody would have white facial hair, right?
Yeah. It's a prerequisite.
So yeah, he hasn't responded to my second invite. I'll try again here.
I went back to your original. I'm logged on and it worked. So I don't know if it's just a connection issue. We may end up burning all our extra time on connection.
I think you're gonna have to go to the fallback and call him on the phone and put it on speaker and see if we can get it that way.
All right.
Hello.
Mr. Daniels,
Yes.
it's Bruce Ansell. Sorry, we are having connection problems here.
Yeah, I could see you fine, but I couldn't hear anything.
Right, and same on this end. Did you try re-logging on?
I was just doing that when the phone rang.
Okay, why don't I give you a second to try to do that and see what happens here. In the meantime, I'll just keep you on the line.
Okay, yeah, I'll see if that works. I was on my phone, so here, let's go.
All right. Can you guys hear that?
I can hear him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we have to do that, we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not letting me on because I was previously removed, and but I did do your most recent invite.
Oh, that's my fault. Sorry.
Well,
I can't. I don't know how to get around that.
I've never Zoomed before, so this is
okay.
an experience
Well,
for me.
we all had our first opportunity earlier this year. So
Right.
Chief, are we going to abandon the Zoom thing then, or?
Yes, sir. I think we just proceed with the phone call for him.
All right. So, Mr. Daniels, you are on my speakerphone, and the rest of the board is able to hear you. If at any time, gentlemen, that you can't hear him, we will try to figure this out another way. But thank you for taking the time to respond to our request for interested candidates and sending us your letter of interest. We have about 10 questions for you here today and are currently interviewing 4 candidates. We had 6 potential interested ones and 1 dropped out and 1 we can't make contact with. So we're down to 4. Anyway, appreciate you taking.
Well, that's a good response for that. 6 people.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty excited about that. So
Yeah.
anyway, so we'll get started here. The first question is, why do you want to become a commissioner for District 21?
Well, like I said in my letter of interest, I moved to Blaine about 5 years ago. I used to volunteer on the Whatcom County CERT hazmat team, and I gave that up when I moved to Blaine, and so many years of service kind of doing emergency response kind of stuff. I felt this is an opportunity to kind of keep my fingers in that pie a little bit and give back to my community here in Blaine.
Very good. Very good. Next question is going to be from Scott Fisher. I'll see if I can hold my phone up so you can hear him.
Okay. What is your understanding of a fire commissioner's role?
Did you hear the question?
I could not hear the question.
Okay, so the question is, what is your understanding of the fire commissioner's role?
So as far as I see it, it's kind of to help develop, watch over the budget for the fire department, set a budget, figure out apparatus issues, and just oversee operations and personnel.
Okay.
Okay.
And can you?
There's probably some community information, keep the community informed of what's going on with your department too.
Okay. Could you expand on your overseeing the operations and personnel question or answer?
Well, it's just I don't know. I don't know if I guess I don't know if the commission oversees promotions or not, but there's always issues that usually come up with within a department that have to be talked about and monitored, and I can't think of the word I want. Anyway, yeah, just to arbitrate things with personnel and that kind of thing.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Probably just to make this easier to hear, Commissioner Crawford, I think I'll just go ahead and move forward with the questions. There's 3 of us here, but obviously this is a little difficult to get a good voice to you. So our third question is, part of the district's vision statement states that we accomplish our mission through fiscal responsibility. What does fiscal responsibility mean to you?
Well, so since we are spending taxpayer money, we need to be responsible how we spend that money. So make sure that that we're well thought through and oversee, make sure that the monies that we spend are spent wisely and for resources that are really needed.
Very good. All right. Sorry, I'm taking a couple notes here. So,
Sure.
but, the next question is, please tell us what you see are some of the key issues facing our fire district in the next 5 to 10 years.
So I would say things are not certainly getting any less expensive to operate. So operating costs have got to be on there with climate change coming along. This fire district has a fair amount of rural areas, so I'm sure that that's got to be a concern for us about how climate change and our urban forest zones are how climate change is going to impact that, and how the our fire district is going to be able to handle that oncoming surge of warmer climate and higher opportunity for forest fires and that kind of thing in our district.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know how much DNR covers some of that spot in our area, but there must be some kind of cooperation between DNR and the fire district that needs to be probably talked about too.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay. All right. Are you guys able to hear all his answers okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next question is, what are your views regarding fire district consolidations?
So I was on the outside looking in on that when it happened at South Walking Fire Authority. Chief Weaver is a good friend of mine, and those consolidations seemed like they're well used, a good thing for saving money, saving overhead with because you need less support personnel, and then being able to have more response in your district rather than having to have mutual aid issues talked about. If you're consolidated into a district, and you can have listed protocols as far as, when an alarm goes off here, this station will automatically respond and that kind of thing. I think it's a good thing as far as being able to save money and help air the districts out amongst each other better.
Okay. Do you feel there's any conflict of interest that may arise due to your appointment to the Board of Commissioners?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And have you ever worked in a union or with union personnel in the workforce?
I have worked with union personnel. I was in my younger days, I was worked as a mining engineer tech, and I was not in the union, but all the miners that I worked with were union members.
And were there any issues or concerns about that with you?
Not really. I got written up once because I helped an engineer put a train back on a track and got caught by a laborer that I was, but other than that, that was no issues.
Okay. just trying to get the work done, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the engineer didn't mind. It was one of the other laborers that saw me, pushing on the end of a board trying to lift it back up onto the track.
Yeah. All right. So our board meets once a month for several hours, usually the third Thursday at 1 in the afternoon. There are occasions when we have special meetings or special committees. Do you foresee any problems attending these meetings on a regular basis?
I do not.
Okay. And if you're not selected for this position, would you be willing to accept a future unexpired term or work on another committee of some sort?
I think I would, yes.
All right. And in closing, do you have any questions regarding the position of fire commissioner?
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Have you done any research into the WACs or anything as to what the roles and responsibilities are?
Yeah, well, when I was working at the refinery and on the emergency response there, I had all the WACs downloaded on my computer at the time. I used to know all the numbers. That's been 10 years ago. I've forgotten them, but yeah, I'm familiar with those and how to access them, and yeah.
Very good. All right. I'm going to just poll our board here and see, do any of you have any follow-up questions or comments for Mr. Daniels?
No, I have none. Thanks, Bruce.
Okay.
None for me.
All right. Well, Mr. Daniels, I'm sorry that we couldn't do this in person. I'm also sorry we couldn't see your face on our Zoom meeting for any longer than the few minutes we did.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the mandate we're stuck with right now. So
It is, exactly, yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day and for stepping up and volunteering for this interview. And we've got a couple more candidates to interview today, and then we'll let you know how this all comes out.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you.
All right. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right. Let's see where we're at. All right. The chief is back. How did we do with Ms. McMurray?
She will be available at 2 p.m. if you'd like to retire into executive session for a short period and then take a break and come back.
Do you guys want to go into executive session for about 10 minutes?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, so let me just make sure I got the right reference here. The executive session is per RCW 42.30.110 subsection H to evaluate the qualifications of a candidate for appointment to elective office. So because our Zoomness is kind of disrupted here today. We're going to go ahead and go into executive session briefly. When we come out, there will be no action taken except to maybe take a break and reconvene at 2 p.m. So she was scheduled at 2:15. So hopefully we can speed this process along. So if you'd like to go ahead and stop the live stream, we'll go into executive session and for about 10 minutes.